The House in Texas had passed one of the most strict abortion bills in the country. It would ban abortion after 20 weeks, and it would require all abortion clinics to get admitting privileges from hospitals. And as you know, it's very difficult for clinics to do that because of the fact that a lot of hospitals don't want to get protested, and they also have their own religious issues and they don't want to deal with abortion at all. Now, the bill passed the House and it made its way to the Senate, and Senate Democrats in Texas said that they were not going to let it pass. In fact, State Senator Wendy Davis said that she was willing to do a 13-hour filibuster just to make sure that she could block the vote. Now, we have an ABC News report that has more detail into this story. Let's take a look.
Members, I'm rising on the floor today to humbly give voice to thousands of Texans.
With no food, no water, and no bathroom breaks allowed, Davis hoped to run out the clock on the legislative session and so block a bill that would close virtually every abortion clinic in Texas. But to engineer the filibuster, she also couldn't change the subject. And her Republican opponents say she did just that just before the midnight deadline, igniting chaos as hundreds of her supporters protested, shouting her name. Lawmakers then scrambled to vote in time, approving the bill. But then this morning, a stunner. The lieutenant governor confirming that the timing of that vote was changed in the computer. The vote was actually taken after midnight.
Now, the filibuster took place for 11 hours, which is incredible. And throughout those 11 hours, as you heard in that report, no bathroom breaks, no food. She wasn't allowed to lean on anything. And the way the filibuster works in Texas is there's a 3-strike policy. So if you do something that's out of bounds, people will, or your colleagues can call something known as a point of order. Right. And on one occasion, they called a point of order because she was talking about ultrasounds, and the bill has absolutely nothing to do with ultrasound. Right. So they said, no, you're changing the subject, point of order. She also got another point of order when a colleague of hers came to help her with her back brace because her back was really bothering her. She was standing there for 11 hours.
Exactly.
So they managed to call off the filibuster, and there was about 12 minutes left.
Yeah.
And this is where the protesters came in, and it was incredible because Republicans are scrambling and they're trying to vote, and in the process of doing so, they're getting distracted by the protesters that are there. And at the end of all of this, they managed to finish voting, but they finished voting at 12:03 a.m., which meant that they did not meet the deadline.
Wah, wah.
Sorry.
And you know what Wendy should have done? As someone who used to work in retail and stand on my feet on an Italian marble floor all day, she should have tweeted before the filibuster, hey, what ideas do you have for people who stand in service jobs all day? And she would have gotten it. Someone would have made her an exoskeleton, I'm sure, at that point. Mm-hmm. With the back brace, little pink tennis shoes, I mean, she did what she could. I assume she was wearing some sort of a Stadium Pal or Depends or something. And I want to be her when I grow up so bad. I love her. I think she's unbelievable.
Unbelievable and very inspirational. And also it shows me that there's hope in a deeply conservative state like Texas. You have a woman who is fighting for something. And by the way, because of redistricting and because of the Supreme Court gutting the Voter Rights Act of 1965, it's very likely that in Texas they will redistrict her area. They'll split it up, and it will be even more difficult for her to get reelected. So I'm really worried about that. But for today, let's focus on the good news.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I love this is an example of democracy working in the right way, and I want to remain optimistic. However, Governor Rick Perry is so obsessed with the issue of abortion because there's nothing else to govern on, right? You got to worry about abortion.
Yeah.
He has decided to call a special session, which will take place on July 1st at 2 p.m. So they're still fighting. They're trying to get this legislation passed, and they're trying to make this law. And who knows what will happen during that special session, but I do feel better knowing that we have a state senator like Wendy Davis fighting for what's right.
Absolutely.
By the way, final quote from Wendy Davis that I liked. She said, "My back hurts. I don't have a lot of words left. It shows the determination and spirit of Texas women." Get it, girl.
Amen.
I love it. I love it. Feels really good to know that there's someone fighting for women's rights in Texas.